think about the people that God has taken out of your life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My staff, mostly my execs think I'm a little cuckoo because I'm like, I recognize the synchronicities. I'm like, that didn't happen, but because look at that did. And they're like, how are you always putting this together and spinning it? And I'm like,
Right.
what? You don't see it like that? That's how I'm seeing it.
Right.
Like
It's
you
like
really
today, us
train your
being
brain.
together, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. When I was coming here, I go, I'm going to do this. I don't know why. I kept telling people, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I said, but I'm doing it because God wants me there.
Yeah.
Right. And I meant that. It wasn't, there wasn't a hesitation. There wasn't anything. I go, you know what? This is God's will. This is what Angie needs. I'm there because I believe in what she's doing.
Yeah.
And if my story can bring 10 people here, that's what I want. I don't want anyone else to get caught up in the world of numbing from some place where they think they're getting help,
Yeah.
right? Because all it does is delay your happiness and your joy and the blessings from above. That's all it does.
Yeah.
And it's something that, you know, we get confused. We get confused in the rooms because everyone here, we're going to get a better life. We're going to get the second life. But God says, we're going to get a first class life after we do the right things. We're going to be clean. That's clean from everything. So let's be clear. Unless we need medication, I'm not against medication. When needed, I'm opposed a medication to Band-Aid feelings.
Yep.
That's what I'm opposed from because we're all born to feel. No matter how painful, how good, how bad, who leaves us, who comes, but it takes us to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And if we don't learn how to do it the right way in places like you have, it can be dangerous. That's all.
Yeah. Well, and it's so hard because society has programmed everybody to not feel, from the commercials you watch to the people you talk to the doctors you see. Like it's almost like everybody's saying, you don't like how you feel. It's fine. Medicate, 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 medicate. You want to be sober? Fine, medicate. Now you're sober. It's like, wait, what?
Right?
But it's like their messaging is constantly barraging you, even from kids. I can't tell you how many people we've had through the program that as kids, they had a lot of energy, probably terrible diets, probably a lot of sugar, a lot of dyes, a lot of things that contributed to it. But, a lack of understanding of real nutrition. And a lot of parents don't know that or understand that. They're buying their little gummy treats and this and that. And their kids are bouncing off the walls. Teachers can't handle them, oversized classrooms, no child gets left behind. They get labeled ADHD, they get put on Ritalin as a children. And then as they progress to an adult, now they're on Adderall, now they're on speed, now they're, too wound up. So they got to bring it down with some weed or some heroin.
Yes.
And so they're from a very young age, they're almost being programmed to control themselves with drugs.
And that's why this needs to start at a very young age.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I may not be sitting here if someone noticed from a very young age that there was a problem,
Right.
that we were broken, that we needed help. We were too young to ask, right? And I don't know the answer for that, but I know today that people like you and I make a difference, and we are here to listen. And I know your phone lines are open all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
No matter what, if you see a little kid, I mean, they can call you and you can, just give them direction. That's the beauty of your program.
Yeah.
Right. And I've tried it. I've called your hotline.
Oh, good.
I test things before I endorse them, right? So anyway, I really do.
Did we pass? No.
I do because you know what? So often when I'm talking to people, they'll say, well, Christine, did you go in there? Have you tried it? I get questioned.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course I did. And sometimes I'll be like, let's call Elevate right now. Let's see who answers. And they answer.
Yeah.
I go, now let's go to the website. Let's check it that. Because I want them to feel comfortable and know that I've done it also. And know that if I don't care, this program, if anything, I would do the outpatient program for my mental health.
Yeah.
I would.
Absolutely.
I mean, if I felt like I needed it, I would be one, and I've been sober. I work on myself, but to continue to work on myself, why not come?
Yeah.
Why not go back to the beginning?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think we get so caught up in, we have this many years, we have that many years. The more years we have, the harder it is. the more work we need to do. And to go back to the beginning, we don't have to be embarrassed.
Right.
People should be giving us 10 and 5 stars for just getting the help we need, or learning other skills, or learning new things, doing it differently. And that's what you offer.
Yeah. Have you noticed, and this has been like a big realization I've had over the last few years, is I always considered trauma like big stuff, like what you went through. Like, of course, there's trauma there.
Mhm.
But I think for your average person, their traumas go unnoticed or they make less of them. Because I even recall this in being in the rooms. It's like, oh, well, I wasn't that bad. It's almost like a comparison when they hear your suffering, that their suffering wasn't that bad. So therefore it's either insignificant or there, I don't need to really handle it because it wasn't quite that bad. But what I've realized is trauma. And it could be something catastrophic and awful, but it could also be something that some people minimize as, oh, that wasn't that bad, but it still affects them in the same way. Like a divorce, like we moved when I was young and I didn't know what happened. Like my
That's
pet died, like little
right.
things we
Little things.
consider little things aren't little things. They're still traumas and they still need to be confronted and dealt with. Otherwise, they'll always hang there and sort of trigger or come back to the person unless they like really deep dive it.
I want to talk about the young lady that I talked about that went to Florida for her rehab. This is her. So she's my hot mess, but love her to death. Proud that God.
We
She's
seem
so
to like
right,
those ones.
right.
They're like,
They're like me, right? She's my
Yeah,
hot
yeah.
mess. But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said that, right?
Yeah.
Comes from a really good family.
Yep.
Everything, you go to her family, looks perfect, right? And I'm like, where is that trauma,
Yeah.
right? What is going on, right? Culturally, her family's from Africa. Culturally, she was the only one raised in the United States.
Mhm.
That's traumatic. Think
Yeah.
about being raised in a family where everyone knows the culture, but she knows her culture, but she's here,
She's the only one. Yeah.
right? So think about that, right? And maybe her brother or sister were, but I know that I think about like the differences. She's American,
Yeah.
right? If you ask her, she's American, but you go to her family's house, they're very traditional. I love going there. I love their coffee. I love everything, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're crazy. You're crazy." I'm like, "Can your mom make some of that food? Can we go to In and Out?" I'm like, "Hey, but
Yeah.
that was key
Yeah.
because there was nothing. No, she wasn't molested. There was nothing bad,
Yeah.
right? Her mom had to work hard. She had to go to other people's houses. Her mother worked so hard that she didn't maybe get the attention she needed culturally.
Yeah.
So in the rooms, when she hears my story, she's like, you just said, oh my God, oh, that wasn't me. What am I here? I'm not that bad. But you're hanging out with the homeless like I was. You have a home to go to,
Yeah.
right? But it broke her. That's trauma,
It is.
right? But if we didn't work on it, she would never know it today, maybe.
Yeah.
She would think, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yep.
Nobody in my family's like me. That broke her,
Yeah.
right? So it's the little things that we don't really let shine that can break us. And they don't have to be what you and I went through,
Right.
right? They could be something in your family that changed a dynamic. It could be not fitting in school,
Yeah.
right? That teacher who told you couldn't read. It could be so small. But until we sit down in a program and write and go deep, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll make excuses.
Yeah. Or we'll minimize it. Oh, it's not that bad. I'm just being, a sissy about it. Yeah, I've told this story. I'm very fortunate. My grandparents are still alive. My grandpa and grandma are 96 years old.
Nice.
I know, so good. But it's interesting. Every time I see my grandpa, he's replaying his childhood trauma. Like, and my dad, I just needed glasses and he wouldn't let me get glasses. So everybody thought I was stupid and he beat me because I was stupid and he treated me bad because, I was stupid. And once I got glasses, like it fixed everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just listening. And for him, it's like it just happened yesterday.
Right.
Now, he never became an addict. He, married, family, did all the things. But seeing him now replaying that trauma, that's why I'm like, handle this stuff in your life, people. Like whether you chose addiction to handle it, well, most of us didn't choose that, but that's
Right.
the path we went. Whatever it is, like it is vital for us to handle those traumas, or they're going to plague us when we're older, or we're going to keep replaying them, or we're going to keep repeating patterns.
That's
Like,
the big thing. So what
yeah,
if someone would have listened to your grandfather? How much
God,
more? I mean, think about that,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
God bless him today because guess what? He's working through those traumas before he goes to the big house.
Mm,
You know, he's
yeah.
working with God on that. He's taking off his bricks. He's talking to you about it because you're an angel. And he
Um,
feels comfortable with opening up and saying, you know what, this hurt me. And no one else would listen, but now you're listening.
uh,
And that's what's happening. You're giving him that door, which is a beautiful space. So we're never too young, never too old to take off a brick, whether we're normal or I'd say I'm normal today, or we're alcoholic, right?
yeah.
You gave your grandfather that door, and that's why he talks to you about it because he's safe,
Uh,
right?
wow. I never looked at it like that.
He's
God,
really
you're
safe.
making me cry. I'm like, oh, I'm going to
No,
call my grandpa.
no, but he's safe.
Yeah.
That's a really safe place.
Ah,
And that's a gift. That's a gift you have that you can sit with people and they'll tell you, and you'll be like, the glasses, because we know what we went through,
yeah.
but we don't downplay it because we also know that that could be important,
Really important.
right? And
Yeah.
we also know that the girl who wasn't in the women out here now getting cosmetic surgery, if we went deep within them, there's probably a few bricks to why they want to change their aesthetics, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like the glasses, right? We never feel good enough.
Yep.
It's a good enough thing. But for you to be able to do that is a gift for you.
Oh,
So
thank
I want
you
to
for
thank you
saying
for
that.
being there
Man,
for us. I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate that because for me, I'm just feeling bad. Like, how can I fix this for him? But you're
You
right.
are fixing
Maybe
it.
he's just processing. And then that's what I tell him. I'm like, and where are they now? Oh, they died and they're this and that. And I said, and you outlived every single one of them.
Mhm.
And look at the life you had. You had 6 children. You know, you proved them all wrong, right, Grandpa?
Right.
And he's like, that's right.
But look at he's smiling.
Yeah.
And maybe he was hurting because all his life he thought about those glasses
Yeah.
and what a difference that would make. And you were the one person, right? That's
Yeah.
what God does. He brings us into people
Mm.
who couldn't open up until they meet someone. And then they pour their hearts into us. And if you ever notice, I sit down with people and they tell me their life story. Sometimes I'm like, I didn't like sign up for this one today. Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And I scratch my head and I'm like, okay, God. And they'll go like, and I just said hello.
Yeah.
Right. And before I know it, I know everything about them. And then I'm like, And then I listen and they go, you haven't said a word. I go, this was like so good.
Yeah.
I said, what are your next steps? I hear that,
Yeah.
or I heard that you went through that trauma. Do you plan on doing something about it?
Yeah.
Right. And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I go, well, here's my number if you ever do,
Mm.
but that's what we're here for today because God put a light in yourself and myself for people to tell us those things because they don't tell everyone.
They don't. I can't tell you how many people are like, I have no idea why I'm telling you this right now. I've
I get
never
it all
told
the time.
anybody that. I'm like, it's meant to be. And I'm
That's
here
what I say.
for
I'm like, okay. And I get these long things and sometimes I'm like, you did that? And sometimes I'm like, you're better than Jerry Springer, but I'm going to be quiet. Or it'll be something so simple, right?
Yeah.
And it's good like your grandfather. And I can say, you know what? Wow. I said, but that's a little brick you just let off your back.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to carry it anymore. And you're going to tell 20 people after you just told me because it's lighter.
Yeah.
Think about our stories when we first started telling it in the rooms.
Yeah.
You'd be, but my mom did this and I don't like her. And now we can say it with dignity and pride because that's what made us today.
Yeah.
To be the champions for other people
Yeah.
who can't get up. We can champion for people. I'm going to say this. Before I came up here, this lady, she called me out the blue. She's 90 years old. She doesn't even know me.
Mm.
I'm like, hello? She's like, hello? I'm like, hi. And she goes, this is so-and-so. I'm trying to call my niece. I go, you have the wrong number. We spoke about a month ago. Well, can we just talk? I'm like, sure, we can talk. Well, I'm having this problem. Right? And I'm like, okay, God. I listened to her, but I'm on my way here, right? And she tells me what she's doing. And I said, I'm on my way out to go do something. She said, something for the Lord, right? I go, yeah, something for the Lord. She goes, well, tomorrow I have a women's meeting. Do you mind if you call me tomorrow evening and we can continue this conversation? I said, you know what? I'm going to call you tomorrow evening. That's how we work with people, right?
Yeah.
We don't know where they come from, but we can listen
Yeah.
and make that little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I thank you for that because you've helped so many,
Oh, same.
you
Thank
know,
you.
and you don't know, like when I first spoke with you, my heart filled with joy and I told you I couldn't stop, you know, because we were on the same path and I felt that light
Yeah.
and that connection. But the more, and I know you do it from your soul, it's not about anything else. And to see people get on the right track, and I know your kids are proud of you.
Uh,
They are, because the woman that we've become, right?
Yeah.
And we don't have to look back now.
Oh, thank gosh.
No.
Thank
Right,
God.
right.
I know I have so many people like, God, how do you do what you do? And it's like, dude, it's at least I'm in control of what I do now. Back then, I was not in
But they don't even see that,
No,
right?
no.
Think about like if we were to tell someone sit down and have tea with someone.
Yeah.
Do you know who I hung out with like years ago? Do you know what I was doing?
Yeah, no.
Do you know the hustling game? Do you know who this?
Oh, yeah.
You were that person.
Oh, yeah.
But that person made us who we are today.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'd probably be dead if I didn't get help. I would be dead.
Oh, same.
I would be dead.
Same.
Dead or in jail. No, dead. Dead in jail. Yeah. Because I was 90 pounds. I don't know. I don't like to say 110 just to sound good, you know, and people thought I was a crack addict. It was alcohol. Alcohol is the number one offender to death.
Yeah. And it's the least talked about as being dangerous.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah.
You can convulse and die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we want to just, you know, I want to say that and let people know that they're not alone and people do care and your story does matter.
Yeah.
And every story that we tell and someone else tells out there helps someone else to get the strength to get help.
Absolutely. I have people talk to me a lot about alcohol. Like, I don't know, Angie, do you think I have a problem? I don't know. And I'm thinking about quitting. And I said, look, whatever you do, get help and do it medically supervised because people don't realize that they are not just mentally addicted. It is so physically damaging and addicting, and people trying to do the right thing and come off of it cold turkey can send their bodies into convulsions, hallucinations, hospitals, and as we know, liver failure. Like
Everything.
it is hard and it is bad. And as much as I admire people for wanting to, do it, I can just do it. It's not a problem. Don't take that chance because it is literally deadly to try to do it if you're been drinking on the daily or binge drinking.
Right.
Even it is extremely dangerous to come off on your own.
And when you come off on your own, if you're not mentally straight
Right.
and you're walking in and you're sober and you haven't went to anyone, a professional, mentally coming off of alcohol could be worse than physically because the voices we hear
Yeah.
and the things that go on in our minds can be deadly because we think everyone's talking about us. We're not doing it good enough. We haven't worked on anything. That's why I recommend coming to a place like yours
Yeah.
and do it right. Don't take the risk. Don't listen to your friends. You could cold turkey. We're not 20 years ago where they downgrade you. What did they call it when they give you a little bit of alcohol every hour?
Oh, right.
Right. Remember
Yep.
that? I can't remember the term for it.
Yep.
But please
Yeah.
don't do it because it's not the same today as it was when they wrote that book 100 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even since when I first came in 30 years ago, we would detox everybody completely drug free, no matter what they were on: heroin, alcohol, pills, prescriptions, 15 different combinations. Everything was a drug free detox. And we did so safely and with doctor's orders. Now, no way. I mean, even people just on weed, we will still do because they don't even know what's being put in this stuff. They don't know
Right.
how toxic it's become to their bodies and how dangerous it is. Like something has massively changed in the last 20 years from
Yes.
when we used to just be tough and cold turkey. It's not like that anymore. And I've been trying to figure out, it's like, is alcohol worse? Like, what is it that's creating this effect in the body that we used to not see?
And the acetone is more in there, I think. A lot more acetone because that's the addiction in the alcohol, right?
So you do think
I
there's
do
a
think,
change
right.
in the
The alcohol, the
okay, because that's
dynamic.
what I've been trying to
Because
figure
when you
out.
think about the acetone is once we take it, right,
Hmm.
the acetone builds up, we get the craving
Yeah.
and we start doing it. And then that's really what we get. So if the alcohol is higher proofed, there's more acetone in it. We're
Okay.
coming in, we're trying to cold turkey it off. That acetone's staying longer.
Mm.
It's not like the old days where they're doing the little alcohol bottles and now we can get 100 proof. Now we can get, the double the alcohol, the double the acetone, the double
Mm.
the risk.
Yeah. And plus whatever they're mixing in there with it, the
Hmm.
sugars, the dyes, the this, the that,
It all
it's
goes together.
yeah.
And I tell people when they come in, they're like, I want sugar. It's because you're getting off of alcohol.
Yep.
I mean, I had those red vines on my head, boy, for a year. I'm not gonna, I used to tell people, they were like, you just eat sugar. I'm like, you know what? I don't care about this. I came in all 240, whatever I am. But guess what? I'm working on my inside.
Yeah.
That's what's most important.
Yeah.
So eat the sugar.
Well, we don't even let them do sugar and detox because it prolongs the detox symptoms. Now,
It
when they
does.
come down, and we don't provide it as a program, but we let them do target runs. But, when you start to realize how harmful sugar is and how hard it is for your body to process it, and it plays right into the alcohol and the addictions and all that, it's almost like a double addiction that people are contending with.
So I didn't realize that until I got with my sponsor and I was eating a lot of sugar, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, she was medical. She was certified. God bless her. She passed away, but she was like, we need to like wean you off that sugar a little bit. And I was like, no, no, I need it. She goes, no, you're addicted to it. You switch your addiction.
Yeah.
She said, you're eating too many licorice vines.
Oh.
And it was eye opening.
Yeah, because it
Right?
gives you that dopamine, it gives you that feel good because you're like, "Ah, it's like comfort food,
It is.
But
It
then
is.
there's kind of like alcohol being a depressant. Like you feel good at first, but then the flip
That
side
flip
kicks
goes
in,
down.
just like the sugar crash and the depression. Like it just comes in, it comes at a price.
It does. And just
And
like
to avoid that low, you just keep with more of the high.
right. It's like anything else, right?
Yeah,
And we have to watch it. But when you come in and you see that,
yeah,
no other program is going to tell you that, like you just said it to me.
yeah,
'Cause if I would have known that, I wouldn't have to wait and run my sobriety, a portion of it, taking a pill.
yeah,
It was like 0.5, 0.1. It was the lowest milligram. But to me, I had to have it,
yeah,
right? And I really didn't need it, right? Along with the sugar. Who would tell me that that's like the dopamine? That's what I'm doing. I'm replacing.
yeah,
But you will. Those things are important to know because every day is important sober because we get to live a new life if we're clean
yeah.
and we can enjoy it and laugh and joke and travel and do the good things.
Do the good things. Yeah, we have so many of our clients saying this is the first time have laughed in years. Like I didn't even humor was gone and now I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I can like share and I can enjoy and they start to realize that you can have fun being sober. Whereas, like we talked about with other programs, they're medicated. Are they laughing? Are they having fun? Are they
They're not.
digging deep? Are they really truly bonding with people because
Mm-mm.
you're vulnerable and being open and sharing feelings with one another?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. And it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad point when we can't really feel when we're in a program,
Yeah.
right? Because we're still numb.
Yeah.
And when you're laughing, I'll never forget when I first got sober and I was clean 100% vessel. I was walking through a park in San Francisco and I just started busting out laughing, right? I'm laughing. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm laughing and I'm drunk and I'm not high. I go, thank you, Jesus. I go, this is kind of cool. I really laugh. Like I forgot how to laugh.
Yeah.
I really forgot how to laugh.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? People like me,
Yeah.
right? We forget how to laugh. We forget how to feel. And that was a good feeling to
Yeah.
be able to laugh. And I was skipping and I remember, and I was like, you're crazy. This is crazy. And just like the person in your program,
Yeah.
that's how you feel.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much to it. Like laughter really is the best medicine.
It is.
There is laughter therapy. It's a thing.
It is. And when you laugh, it's just so much fun. People
Yeah.
tell me I make them laugh all the time. I'm like, I'm not trying to make you laugh. You know, I'm just like, but I guess it's funny, right? But being real can be funny.
It
And I'm
can.
sure you make a lot of people laugh because you're telling the truth and they laugh about it because
It's
they can't believe what we're saying.
true.
They're like, what did you just say? I can't believe that just came out of your mouth. And we're really honest. And we're like, that wasn't a joke.
Yeah. And I love it. But again, there's that vulnerability that sort of puts everybody at ease where now they feel comfortable and they can share in that and see the humor in it and not be offended or upset or feel bad about it. It's like, dude, it's not that serious.
It's
Like,
not.
have some fun. It's have some levity. It's okay.
You
We
know, and
don't have to be so serious about everything all the time.
those control days that you said are gone in my life,
Yeah.
you know, and I realize now that we all make mistakes.
Right.
And I love when I'm somewhere and someone makes a mistake whether they're in the program, out of the program, and I can say, thank you. You're normal. You make me feel good today. I do that all the time. And they look at me and they're like, you do? I'm like, yeah, that was great. Can you do it again? So when I do it, they won't think it's such a big deal, right? But
Yeah.
that's what we can do today. We can relate
Yeah.
to normal people, our people, and we're the best people.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to hire someone, I would hire someone in a program
Yeah.
because we learned from the start.
Yeah. Well, and there's humbleness, and they've done the work, and we confront demons, and
We do. Those demons. Woo,
yeah, all the
right.
things. Yeah. So, what does your life look like now? Did you go back to your old job? You're back in that same
Okay.
profession, same
I'm in the
place?
same profession, left the job that I actually got sober at. Stayed there for 5 years though, 6 years. Left, went to another company similar. Stayed there for 6 years and went back home. I'm back home at the beginning,
Oh, wow.
right? But it's good when you can go back to the beginning and hold your head up
Yeah.
and know your journey
Yeah.
and know that because of this program, you can bring something to the table even better.
Yeah.
And my life is good. I mean, my home life is great. My kids are great. We have our ups and downs like everything else.
How old are your kids?
My kids are, let me think about it.
Ah,
If I skip one and they see this, I'm sorry.
oh, wow.
32, 21, 22, somewhere like that. Then my oldest one is 29. No, 39.
So that very spread out.
So every time I get lonely, I had a kid because I was broken.
So like every 18 years, like new
You
kid.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the truth. So anyone who knows, okay, my kids, when they didn't need me anymore, I had another one,
Mm.
right? And then when that one didn't need me anymore, I had another one, except for my last one. And that was one that I was ready to have. And I had him alone. And he's like my love child. It's
Mm.
something that I wanted because I was married with the first two. And that one just has it was a different dynamic. And it wasn't about a divorce and bitterness. I just didn't want to go to court anymore. I didn't want that type. Not that my ex-husband was a bad man, he was a great guy. But we had our legal stuff, but the little one was mine. So today I have three boys and they're amazing and a beautiful grandson,
Oh, wow.
and he's amazing, and you know, my family's great. We're a family. Stuff shows up. I have one that's out there, two that live a life, and all I can do is pray for them,
Yeah.
right? But today I'm not anxious about them because I have God. I have peace.
And you're not feeling like you got to fill that void.
I don't feel it.
Yeah.
God does.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably and you probably do it too. I can sit alone. I'm okay with being at home by myself.
Yeah. It's taken me a while. I definitely went through the trauma when both kids left and they all left at the same time. There was two of them. But and at first I started running too, like, oh, convention here, travel here,
Oh, I did that.
and it's like, I'm great, I'm great.
Mhm.
And I realized I was kind of avoiding. And so this year I've just been sitting in it, through it, with it, my house, my stuff, my things, myself, not going out on the weekends, not doing anything, just
Mhm.
sitting and being with myself and with God. And like you said,
That's it.
I am not alone. Like, I am literally having, it's funny when I say this, like a love affair with source or God or
That's it.
spirit. It's like, I don't
You get me then,
feel
right?
like I need anyone, because
But-
I'm like my best friend, and I'm always with him, them,
Right,
whatever.
right.
We're always together.
We are.
And so
And it feels that.
it does.
But I do know when my son came home from college,
Oh,
one day he was like, I'm moving out. Well, he went to spend the night with my son, and it was a trigger. And he goes, I'm leaving. No, he went to spend the night and then he wasn't coming back. And I was like, did I do something? Because you go back to that drinking trigger, right? And I was sad.
yeah.
And the emotions came out. And what did I do? But guess what? I was making it about me, right? It's not about me,
Yeah.
right? And I had to pray about it. Christine, get off that pity pot. It's not about you. These are about some grown men that need to grow, right? They need to get out, cut the cord,
Yeah.
right? He
Yeah.
left. Sorry you drank 5 years and missed it, right?
Yeah.
Let him go,
Oh, it's so hard.
right?
It's so hard with our sons too.
right,
I don't know
right.
why.
It
Yeah.
is.
With our daughters, I'm like, get out there, girl. You got this. But with my
Right.
son, I'm like,
Right. And so I remember that. And today
mm,
I don't want him back. Love him, come visit. Love you guys all. But I love my empty nest.
yeah.
I love my peace.
Yeah.
I love going to work and coming home. As you know, I work in a chaotic field, and coming home and praying for the discord in the world, or just talking to God,
Yeah.
just watching that show that means nothing. Because I
Exactly.
like nothing shows. I don't like anything too deep. Keep it
Same.
nothing where I don't have to think or figure it out.
Totally. I've been like binging Vampire Diaries. I'm like,
Exactly.
just go into this
Right.
like make believe world that's kind of fun and the people are hot and I'm
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Right. And that's what it's about today.
Yeah.
That's what we get when we work on ourselves. We don't have to. Life will show up,
Yeah.
but we can move forward.
Yeah.
And that's what's most important.
I love that. So do you go to church officially, or
I
do
go
you,
to church officially.
you do?
Yes, I do go to church. I found a church that I really like.
Oh, good.
I think I make people laugh when they invite me to church, and I'll go to their churches, but I'll also state that I have to go to a church that's Bible based. I don't want hit based. I want fact. I want scripture. I don't want to hear your view. I want to
Okay.
hear it from the biblical view. So that's where I am in my journey. Now, there was a time in my life I loved going to the churches that whoever it was would preach from their soul.
Mm,
That's fine. That's their view. But
yeah.
that's hope. I call that hope.
Yep.
I call that inspiration. Now I get the real deal right out of the Bible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's shocking, but it's always filling.
Yeah. I love that. I don't officially go to church, but I pray whenever, wherever, however. I read a lot. I'm reading a book right now, Masters of the Far East. And so it talks about Buddha and Jesus and old scripture. So it's kind of like interesting because it's based on a lot of the Bible, but with a different kind of spin on it of different masters through the times that are like Jesus and Buddha and different, people who've instructed us and helped us along the way.
I don't believe you have to go to church
Yeah.
to have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
There's times I haven't gone to church,
Yeah.
but that doesn't break my love for him. He's still my boyfriend, still my husband. I think if we go to church, there's hypocrites like everywhere else,
Yeah.
but I go there to fill my soul. I like the people. I like the inclusion, but we do it our way.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. I was never really religious. And the first time I went to jail, when I say that, people are like, the first time? Okay. Yeah. When I went to jail,
I love this, by the way. I've never been to jail, I've always I've heard about the dry tank and I've heard about the
Yeah.
rooms, but
Well, let me tell you about my first time in jail. So I get admitted in the middle of the night, and there's bunks in the middle of the floor, and then there's rooms. When you're new, you're in the bunk in the middle of the floor, and so everybody's sort of sleeping. I'm scared to death. I was like 20 years old. I'm on the bunk. I'm on meth. So I'm wide awake, just sitting in there, like, like, oh my God, where's it going to happen? What's going to happen when the sun comes up? Who are these people? Where am I at? What am I doing? And the only thing I had to keep myself entertained was the Bible. And I'd never read the Bible. I'd gone to church with my grandma. My mom wasn't really religious. And that was literally all I could do. So I'm reading the Bible all night. And the next day I'm super nervous and scared. And, there's one TV in the rec room and the bathrooms and shower. I mean, it was like, I didn't know what to expect or do. I was so young. And all of a sudden, all the girls are around. They're like, all right, come on, gather around. It's coming on right now. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And all of a sudden, Charlotte's Web comes up on the TV, and everybody's just sitting around, and all these tough jail girls, junkies, prostitutes, people like me, just bawling over Charlotte's Web. And I'm like,
remember that movie?
oh,
So
we're all the
cool.
same. Yeah,
We are.
we're all the same. We all have a heart, no matter how hardened, no matter how rough and tough and all those things. We all still had our hearts, and we're still like touched by Charlotte's Web.
I would love to see what those women are today because they were broken like you and I.
Yeah,
You know, when
absolutely.
I talk to young girls, and I also work with women that are trafficked, right? And
That's hard.
it is hard, and I believe that they too are broken from their homes, right? These are young girls,
Yeah,
right? And they get on drugs, they drink, they have pimps, some of them, get bought, whatever.
yeah,
Boys too. It's hard.
yeah,
Their stories are hard and a lot make it out, some don't. But that's something that I'm really passionate about. When I hear about the girls in jail, that's where they end up, right?
yeah.
Because they're just who they people think they are, but that's not who they are.
No,
They're not. They're me, they're you. They just had a rough start.
yeah. Well, my heart goes out to those people being trafficked. I mean, I don't blame them whatsoever for being on drugs. It's like, how can you survive that being sober?
Right?
It's
I
like
couldn't,
I couldn't either. I would get as messed up as I could to try to check
you
out,
know,
block out, not confront or deal with what was happening.
you
It's
know,
pretty horrific stuff.
it is. And that's something that's really high. It's heightened today,
Yeah,
and we glamorize it, right? We glamorize it in so many different ways. And that's, something that's near and dear to me because every young girl has a story, every young boy has a story. And I feel bad that their life was broken at such a young age and all they wanted was love. And that's how they ended up there.
yeah,
I've been there. I know everyone wants love.
yeah. How do you handle that though? How do you emotionally almost be there for them, but then disconnect and let them go?
You know, um, I don't have the girls, they're rough, right? And my journey with trafficking goes back before this.
Mm,
And I know women that have done it. I know young girls that have done it. I know men that have pimped young girls. And you just let them know you love them, right? Right?
yeah,
Who's the mother that said, go do that? I need my food.
yeah,
Who do we blame? Do we blame the child? Do we blame the pimp? Do we blame the mother that sold the child?
right.
It's a big dynamic, right?
Yeah,
Um, to disconnect is giving all you can at the moment, right? And when I leave, they know I love them and I'm coming back,
yeah,
right? And if I can't come back, I normally leave a number, right? It's dangerous, a dangerous situation, but it's part of society. And we look down upon women. We need to lift them up.
yeah,
All races, all colors. It's not one, it's all of them. It's little boys,
yeah,
just love people.
yeah,
Let's not judge them because you don't know their story.
right.
Listen to the stories. And when we walk away, we see ourselves.
Mm.
That's how I can walk away because there's hope.
And I think that's the key, right? Is just even planting one little seed of hope. Like it doesn't always have to be this way, or there could be a way out. Even just inspiring a little bit of hope in a person can just totally change their lives.
I'm sure this has happened to you. You walk in a place and a girl walks up to you. You start talking to her. You don't know her. You don't know her walk of life. You know she might be a little off, might be doing something.
Yeah.
You don't know, but something you may plan in. Just your kindness.
Yeah.
It's the way you look. I want to be like. That's hope.
Yeah.
That's all we can do is add hope to the next person, whoever it is. Kindness doesn't cost a thing,
Yeah.
right? And as long as we walk around every day and acknowledge the person walking alone, your grandfather
Yeah.
who's walking on the street, the woman who's carrying the bags
Yeah.
with cans that we want to talk about and say, how are you doing? Can we carry those for you? It doesn't cost a thing.
Yeah.
Kindness comes from within. And I will promise anyone, if you do it for 2 weeks, it becomes contagious. And
Yeah.
you'll do it another 2 weeks. Before you know it, you're doing it every day. You're not talking about it. And people, it's not even about being noticed, but you made someone's day.
Yeah.
And that's how I work with the girls.
I love that. Yeah, my kids used to get annoyed with me. They're like, "Do you have to talk to everybody everywhere you go?"
You
And
know, and I
I'm
think
like,
we're more alike than I think everybody says that. They go, you talk to everyone.
yeah, I'm like, yeah. And I was like, they could be having a bad day. Like the checker is like, how are you doing today? How many people
Yeah,
ask them how they're doing?
I do
They
the
just
same thing.
ignore them. They just like
Right.
discount them. It's just like, whatever. Like they need to be seen. Like, and it's not in a like over the top dramatic, like, let me give you an award way. It's just
No,
acknowledging their presence. Like that just goes so far because so many people aren't seen and they feel like they're nobodies and it's all meaningless. That little act of kindness just goes so
and
far.
it does.
And like you said, it's contagious. And then maybe they're nicer to their next customer, which and then that next customer is nicer to their family when they get home. And it's very
Right. It
contagious.
is. And it can go without saying.
Yeah.
Like it's not an ego thing for me. It's
Right.
all
Yeah. I
about,
don't need to go post on
I don't
Facebook like
post
I
it on
was nice to
right.
this person and they said this. It's
You
like
know,
that. Yeah.
one thing I love that we say in the program, and I live by this, it's attraction, not promotion,
Mm,
right? So what I do when people ask me, they go, how do you deal with gossip? I said, I don't gossip. It hurts people.
yeah.
Well, how do you feel when people say things about you? I go, if they watch me, I haven't changed. I bet if you look 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I'm still the same person
Yeah.
doing all the same things. So it's not a fraud.
Yeah.
It's me, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's important is that we do something and we don't let outside influences change us because people will see who you really are.
Yeah.
And we don't do it out of ego. I mean, we all do people are always going to do things out of ego. That's why we hear on the TV. Someone gave $1 million, $2 million, right?
Yeah.
It's ego. And that's fine. I want them to keep giving. Don't stop giving, but keep giving.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not, that has nothing to do with it. It's just about making someone else smile because I know there's many days you probably felt the same way. No one acknowledged us.
Yeah.
No one said hello to us on the street. I don't even think they thought I was worthy,
Right.
right? Truth be told.
Yeah.
So today, I can respect everyone,
Yeah.
no matter what level.
Yeah. I love that. I know the other one, and it just goes hand in hand with this that I really abide by is the golden rule. When you're dealing in like my business with people, and oh, didn't you handle it like that? And shouldn't you do this? And I said, no, that's only going to hurt me. It's not going to hurt the person.
Mhm.
It will, and maybe it will momentarily, but that's going to come back on me. So my thought is treat everybody with fairness, kindness, and grace, because that's how I want to be treated. And the more you do that, the less bad things come in on you, the less people treat you bad because you're not treating anybody else that way.
You know, and it's the people that treat us bad. And when you deliver kindness back to them, they really have to mirror themselves.
Yeah.
They look and say, why is this person so kind every day? I don't even like them. And they still come back and say, hello, how are you doing?
Yeah.
They kind of think we're crazy in a way, right? But then they really don't realize we're genuine.
Yeah.
Like I really care. I want to pray for you because you're so upset.
Yeah.
Like what's going on in here? I really want to dissect them to get that like devil out, right?
Yeah.
But that's who we are.
Yeah.
Because of we work programs, because we've had to deal with our bricks, because now we have clean, we're clean. We don't have to go for the pills. We don't have to numb. So we can relate and feel other people. That's a gift to be able to feel someone else.
Yeah. Christine, if you had one piece of advice to give somebody who was struggling, they don't know if they need help, want help, they don't know what to do, what would that one piece of advice be?
To call your 1-800 number.
Well,
And I'm not saying that in a way because I'm sitting here with you. I say your 100 number because when I called your 1-800 number, they didn't ask me if I had insurance. They didn't ask me if I wanted to be admitted. They asked me what I needed. That's key. I've called other places. They want my insurance, right? I say call a place you feel safe.
yeah.
Ask the questions. If you don't know if you have a problem, talk to them. They'll ask you some questions. There's a list, right? And I would say, but if you think you have a problem, you probably do.
Yeah.
And get help because there's something better for you. The more you carry those bricks, the more you're going to cry in the morning. The more you're not going to sleep. The more you're going to numb. And it's not a lot. It's not a bad thing. It's easy. It's hard, but it's easy. Right? So I would say pick up the phone. Don't be alone. And please don't get in that dark hallway.
Yeah.
If you get in a dark hallway, please call someone.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
And that's absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming out here. I'm excited for you to come up to the center.
I'm ready.
See our graduation.
So now we're going to graduation, right?
Absolutely. And then we're going to feed you.
Okay. I get food after all this.
Absolutely. Fridays we have steak up there. So
I'm ready.
You're going to eat good.
Okay. So I will make you laugh. I was telling David on the way here. I said, David, there's places I go and I do get peanut butter and jelly. So, don't trip. And he was laughing, right? Because I was like, I do. I eat whatever somebody else is eating. I'm not too good, right?
Yeah.
And I sit with the crew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? And he was like, really? I'm like, I don't really like peanut butter and jelly, but I've eaten it. I said, but I love it, right? Because that's who I am.
Same. I was raised on PBJs, man.
And I was too, right? Remember the days?
Yeah.
Remember the days?
You know, white Wonder Bread.
Oh, yeah, and the sauce.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd be like, this is it. Like,
best.
right?
Yeah.
And I laughed today about it. But thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is just the beginning of our journey.
Absolutely.
There's more to come.
Yep.
We got big missions, big jobs to do, and together we can do it. God didn't bring us together for anything.
Absolutely.
There's a purpose.
Agreed. And I'm excited for it.
I'm excited. We're going to do big things.
Let's do it.
We're going to do really big things. I mean, it's just starting.
Good. I love that.